Good morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill on a beautiful sunny day here in Alabama. It's still cold. Temperatures are still cold. You might notice that my jacket needs a good washing, but I haven't gotten the chance to hang it up long enough to get it in the washing machine. So it's coming. It's coming. I think that this is pretty much the last of our temperatures that stay freezing for constant. It doesn't happen very often in Alabama that our temperatures don't get above freezing all day. That really doesn't usually happen. So I know a lot of y'all have had some rough weather across the U.S. and I'm just ready for something different. But we can't control the weather. What we can control is hopefully cat populations, and that's what we're going to attempt to do today. So I'm starting off this video right quick light, letting you know what's going on. My Gidget is over here barking as if you can't hear her. I've got two live traps right here in the back of the Bighorn side by side that my good friend Catherine over at G&G let me borrow. And I'm thankful for her because if I had had to buy them, I would have, but I didn't want to because I'm hoping this is a one-time thing. So with those two traps, the reason I decided to go ahead and do this, TNR, Trap Neuter Return, who you guys were so gracious to help with a fundraiser that we did for them after little Lieutenant Dan was rescued from a bad situation, and they helped him out by having his leg amputated and taking care of that. They made a post that they are going to do a pickup for cats that need spayed or neutering. The prices are around $100 a cat. You don't have to have an appointment, so to speak, but you do have to get in line because they can only take a number of cats. So while I say no appointment needed, they do need to know that you're coming ahead of time. So I guess it is kind of like an appointment. So I want to get on board and I want to try to get these cats caught. Now I have seen four different cats with my own eyes. I had pictures of 3 of the 4 and I showed them to you on my last video. Well, I reached out to them and asked them, what should I use for bait? First of all, I got to make a run to town because this is something that I don't have here on hand. And I want to make this as successful as possible. Just pull back up in my driveway with what I need to bait the traps with, and you're never going to guess what that something is. Well, maybe you will, because maybe you realized what it was when I was carrying it through Walmart. I didn't want to put the camera in my face and talk while I was walking through the store, so I just kind of held it up and let y'all see. But here's my passenger. That is a rotisserie chicken from Walmart. And it's not going to go to waste because I'm only going to use a little bit of it for setting the traps, and then the rest of it our family can consume and enjoy. So it's a win-win for hopefully all. That is, if we could get these cats to go in the cage. Fingers crossed. Toes, everything. Wish me luck. All right, back with the rotisserie chicken. And you know, I just hopped in my side-by-side. I'm so eager to go set those traps. But I think I probably ought to just take the portions that I need with me, and the part that my family will eat probably needs to go inside the house instead of me carrying it around with me. So I'm going to get that taken care of, and then we're going to hop back in the Bighorn and go down to the old barn and hopefully get these traps set. Now this is going to be a hopefully only a couple of day process, but it may turn into multiple days worth of process. It just depends on what other critters I were to catch besides the cats that I intend on catching, and if they even take the bait. So I made a stop in the shop because I knew I needed some string to do what I was told to do by the TNR lady, Miss Becky. And I wanted to show y'all Miss Pink. And Jason's got her all fixed up. He has put a heater in the shop, an oil-filled heater that is safe for birds, safe for all pets, in the shop. And Miss Pink is loving it. So she had the little pad that she could lay on to warm her up at the old barn. But this is, she's moved up. You've moved up, hadn't you, girl? You think you got it made now, don't you? Well, guess what? We are going to attempt to trap those cats that live down there at your old barn and have them fixed, because the last thing we need is 800 little kittens running around. Then those 800 kittens can multiply, and so forth and so on. You know, you get it. And they will also give these cats a rabies shot while they get spayed or neutered. Now, Miss Becky acted like she wanted me to tell her what I caught. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle them enough to determine the sex even. But I tell you what, I think I may just tell her. I don't know. I'll tell her the truth, what I'll tell her. That's a good start, Brooke. I'll tell her the truth, that I don't know if they're males or females. And it might seem kind of high for $100 to neuter a cat, but there's not too many places that on the spur of the moment you can load cats up, multiples, and have them fixed. So I'm on board with this. $100 out of my pocket. It's gonna save us in the long run, because we will have a big issue on our hands if all these cats reproduce. So some of you asked in the past video, why didn't I just set up an appointment with my vet and have him do it? Well, Dr. D is the state veterinarian, so he doesn't practice, so to speak, working on animals every day. He sits at a desk and works on rabies and different things that need to be handled that way. He works at a clinic one Saturday every week, one day. And I would have to set up an appointment in advance. I don't know if I could even catch them, and I would have an appointment, so forth, so on. Too much information. Anyway, that's why I did not set this up with Dr. D. I don't even know if we can get these cats trapped, but I've got my string here. Pinky, you are just producing so much liquid today. This hay bale twine, and we're going down to the old barn. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is my mama's 4 cats, they all sleep inside at night. Tucker stays in the garage at night. The barn cats, well, they do veer away from the barn, but they don't go to the old barn, I don't think. And then Edgar and Lou, they stay, well, in the house. So Pinky's going to be right here in the shop, and we're gonna see what we can do, y'all. So here's Pink's little heater, and it doesn't get hot to the touch on the outside. I just wanted to show that to y'all and show you that her food and water situation is over here, and her litter box is on the other side of the shop. No worries about that being too close together either. Well, I come out of the shop to find my 2 boys have came over to the Bighorn, and I know why. Y'all know I've got something good in there, and I hope. Oh, they didn't get it. Woo, boys. I was about to be upset if I had to make another trip to town, but I couldn't blame you, because it does smell really, really good. Y'all did a good thing by not getting that chicken out of the side-by-side. I'll give y'all some when I get back, okay? You'll have your own special treat. Almost forgot one of the other reasons I came to the shop. That was to cut this electric fence off. The last thing I want to do is to get shocked when I take the fence down that goes through the gate. And it is indeed on, so thankful that I remembered that. I'll let you know, girl. I'll let you know how this turns out, and hopefully, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think we're going to catch them? They're going to come back here. If they get fixed, they can come back here. They can live down there at the old barn. If they become a problem, I'll find a home for them. But I'm not having them here if they're not spayed or neutered. I can't do that. That's just what any responsible person would do. If you can't have it handled yourself, you would make sure that somebody that can will. All right, so here goes my attempt to bait a trap with a rotisserie chicken leg. I brought some paper towels because I knew how greasy. Did I bring them? Yeah, they're in my pocket. No, they're not. Where did I put the paper towels? There they are. I knew how greasy this chicken was going to be, and I knew that I was going to need some way to wipe my hands. But I see why this works, because as soon as I opened that, you know, I had Googled it, and Google told me sardines or tuna fish or something like that. And so I thought, well, I'm going to ask Miss Becky at TNR what she uses, because she traps lots of feral cats, and they release them right back in the spot where they were found. But just like me, those people are not dealing with thousands of kittens. They're dealing with 4 cats, and that's manageable compared to lots of kittens. Gosh, it's so greasy I can't even get my fingers back through here to tie a double knot. I'm not a knot tire. I mean, I can get a simple knot tied, but I don't know any special ways to do this. So we're just gonna get a good, I just want it to where it doesn't fall off like that. And just want to get it to where I can hang it. So what do y'all think? Do you think we're gonna catch a cat pretty quick, or do you think it's gonna be a process to where I catch a raccoon and I catch a possum and I catch all sorts of other things before I actually catch what I'm after? I don't know much about trapping. Well, let's see. I need to put that a little further back because y'all can't see it. Let's see. I want to make sure that's the release right there, and that's what they step on that's gonna trigger the door to shut. So I want to put the bait, oh goodness, as far back as I can. All right, got it. Just gonna loop it through here. All right, we got one trap down, and I really think that the best place to put this one is in the old barn, because I've seen it frequent in the old barn. I know there's cats that go in and out of here, and there's not been any food put out since Pink left. So that should be an enticing reason to go in. All right, let's get it set. I'm gonna get this one put in there. And this is not gonna harm the animal whatsoever. It is a live trap. Wish me luck with number 1, and then we'll come back and set number 2. I'm not hardly believing my eyes. I'm down here setting the trap, and here's one of the cats looking at me. Watch what happens when I try to get close though. Well, I only took 1 step and off he went. So this one is set. It is a good bit bigger trap than the other one. And she thought she had more than 2, but if I can catch them fast, then I can reuse these traps and get all 4 caught. That's my thinking. So since I just saw the stray cat, 1 of 4, out here, I think I'm going to go put it over by the old Airstream, which is where I've seen that cat hanging out the past couple of days. Let's see if I can't get this one set. And I bet you I'm going to have a cat caught today. What's it caught up? Come on. I'm going to go hang out over here for a few minutes and just see if she doesn't come take the bait. I say she, it could be a he, but I know one thing, it's a bobtail cat, meaning it doesn't have a tail. I saw that when it was walking off. All right, let's go hide and hang out. Y'all, I just caught a cat, just like that. Well, you can just go ahead and sign me up for professional cat trapper, because I did something right. I literally walked over to the barn, which is probably, I don't know, 25 yards, and I caught the cat. All right, baby, I'm gonna get you into a carrier and put you some food and water in there, And you're going to be safe until we can get you fixed. You look like you might, yeah, you look like you might have some respiratory issues going on as well. My goodness, I never thought it'd be that quick. All right, one down. When I came through last time, I had the 2 traps and the chicken and a little bit of twine. So I didn't drive through there because my thoughts were, if there is a cat over here, I'm gonna scare it off. So this time, got a little bit of a different situation. I've got what I need to house the cat until its surgery date. And I also went by the shop and got me some welding gloves so I can make the transfer a little easier. Now, put my gloves on and attempt, what is that? Oh, it's a shadow. And attempt to grab him or her and put him in the cage safely. All right, on with the gloves. Over my jacket. Gonna keep the cat away from my face. And tip it up so she or he can't get out. It's okay, baby. It's okay. And then open the trap. And let it get loose. That wasn't what I had in mind. That was not what I had in mind at all. She's in here. And she's probably going to come back. Okay. I'm just going to set it up in the barn. This time, both traps. And maybe, just maybe, she'll come back this evening. Oh, how disappointing. I thought she couldn't climb the bottom of it. I don't know what I was thinking. I just cracked the top of it and y'all saw it, I think. Out she came. I was so proud of myself, but I'm not giving up. I do think she will come back. If she didn't learn her lesson, I think I would have learned my lesson. That's what tends to happen sometimes when you don't ask for help. It's getting close to the end of the day now, and it's been quite eventful. So I came back down to check the 2 traps to make sure I didn't recapture him. So far, no luck. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. But I might have to ask for help when I transfer to the kennel next time. Stay tuned. All right, y'all. It's the next day, and I've got everybody fed and water broken up because it still was below freezing this morning here in Alabama, but the temperatures are warming up. So I'm headed down to the old barn to see if I caught anything last night. Hopefully not anything other than a cat. And I really don't know if I ought to try to transfer the cat if I catch one from the live trap. They said I could bring the cat in the live trap to the spay-neuter drop-off point. But my thinking was I needed to reuse the trap. What do y'all think? You think I caught one? Catherine seemed to think when I told her that the cat got away, that the cat may not ever come back to the trap. And if it's a smart cat, it certainly wouldn't. But I don't know if they've got, hunger is probably so strong, that drive to eat, that it may have went right back in the trap. We're about to find out. Turned around to lock the gate, and you see right up there on top of the hill, Rocky and Bandit just staring at me, waiting on their invitation to come down here. I'm sorry, boys. It's still hunting season, and even when it's not hunting season, we're going to leave this gate locked. All the animals that they guard are in the front of the property, and they really just don't have any business back here. Y'all are not going to believe this. So I went into the barn, and I've caught 2 cats. The one I caught yesterday was back in the same cage that I caught him in yesterday. Well, y'all, now I have a headlamp on my head. It is dark outside, almost dark. And I had a doctor's appointment after I caught the first 2 cats this morning. So On my way home from the doctor's office, I picked up 2 more traps that actually came with 2 traps inside there. So I have 4 pieces of rotisserie chicken here, stopped at a Publix. So hope they don't prefer Walmart rotisserie chicken over Publix, because I just don't know the difference really. But we're going to go down there and we're going to try to set 4 more traps, because now the race is on to get the cats caught before the deadline for the pickup for the spay-neuter clinic. Nothing like working by a headlight, listening to your dogs in the background, ward off whatever they think is moving their direction while tying up a chicken leg. All right, let's see. Throw it all the way in the back. The hardest part for me has been getting my string to go through the back. But I'm gonna get it. All right, y'all, got another trap set. I'm gonna put 2 big ones in the barn tonight and see what happens. I did go ahead and set all 4 traps because I had enough pieces of chicken. I had 4 traps down here. Goodness gracious, I hope there's not 6 cats that have made their home back here, but it's possible. So fingers crossed that the most that we have tomorrow will be 2. I don't need any more than that. I don't need 4, but nothing I can do about it. They're here already. I know there's 4 for sure. So I'm hoping that I can catch the other 2 tonight. We'll be back in the morning. We're going to check and see, and just hope there's not 4 more, 6 total. All right, y'all, it's first thing the next day and I just got everybody fed at the barn. I'm headed out to the egg stand to put some eggs out there, and also to nominate the egg ploy of the month before I go down to the old barn and see if I trapped any cats last night. So I had this ready in the last video, and I got so wrapped up in Pink and the cat situation that I totally forgot. So y'all, we're gonna see who the next egg ploy is in just a minute. All right, here she is, a buff Brahma that a follower, Susan, named Gloria. And she even took this screenshot for me. I didn't realize when I printed it out that it needed to go the other way, so I didn't change it, but this is her. So the February egg ploy of the month is Miss Gloria. And you can see that Miss Gloria is a large buff Brahma. She's a golden color. She has feathered legs and a calm, docile temperament that makes Brahmas excellent family pets, foragers, and cold weather layers. I would like to add more Brahmas this year to our flock, as there are 9 different color varieties. And Gloria moved with us to this farm in 2020 from our old farm, and she occasionally does still lay a wonderful brown egg. So one more thing to do before we go check the cat situation, and that is put my baskets back up that I've collected in the barn, and also give these girls some scratch. Look a here, look a here. Where is Gloria? There you are, pretty girl. There you are. Looking beautiful this morning. I think I got more than one Gloria. And I'm not so sure of which one is the original. I guess you'd say I have Glorias. That's okay, I really like Brahmas. All right, girls, y'all enjoy your snack, and I'm gonna go see if I caught any cats. Tell you, you start off cold in the morning. I almost had to put my gloves on, and now that I've done all the chores and walked back home, I had to take my jacket off. That's how it goes. So what do y'all think? Do we have any more cats, or are we just gonna have those 2? We're about to find out. Here's number 1 that did not go off. Here's number 2 that did not go off. Number 3 did not go off. And my number 4 did not go off. Well, I tell you, I was expecting to have caught at least one more. So I just may not be able to catch the rest of them. But eliminating half the problem by spaying and neutering those 2 will definitely be better than nothing. So I'm going to continue to try throughout today until it's time for drop off. And who knows, I might catch one during the daylight hours. They may have had something to eat last night and weren't hungry and weren't looking for food. I don't know. But nothing I can do about that. I've got the trap set and we'll just see what happens. I did not share with you guys earlier that Miss Becky reached back out to me from the TNR and she said, absolutely do not try to put the cat into another kennel or container or anything. Feed the cat in the trap that they are in. That's what's happening and they're doing very well. I do have them covered up, which is what she told me to do, with a light cover so that they're not absolutely terrified of the elements, and it'll all be over for them very soon. All right, y'all, today is the day. It is 5 o'clock in the morning and I've got to go meet a transfer van that will pick up the animals that are paid and signed up to be spayed or neutered today. So I've got these pads, absorbent pads, that I'm going to line the back of the Subaru with because I kind of had to turn the trap sideways to get them in my car, and I feel like this will give more room and I won't have to line them up exactly right. So I'm going to get these little pads put in just because the bottom of the crates are open. This will give protection for the back of the car. Now we're going to go grab these kitties and get them loaded up. All right, babies. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. There we go. Here we go, baby. Yeah. Move you back a little bit. You're okay. All right, kitty number 2. There we go. Are you on the pad? Yeah. And I got a cover I'm going to cover y'all up with so you won't be so scared. We don't want y'all to be scared. All right. That ought to help a little.
Go past these lights, then turn right onto 5th Avenue North.
Well, I think this is my crew right here. I'm supposed to be meeting a van for pickup. And this is definitely it. All right, I had to fill out some paperwork for Feral Cat 1 and Feral Cat 2, and now they will get loaded up. I just pulled back up at home and it is 6 a.m. so it's still dark outside. I've got the light on in the car. But that's a wrap. I hate I wasn't able to catch more than 2, but I'm not entirely disappointed because 2 is better than none. So I encourage each and every one of you to try to do your part. And if you have a pet that's not spayed or neutered, consider doing so. I just feel very strongly about spay and neuter, and even though those cats were feral, they deserve the best, and that is not reproducing constantly. So I will pick them up tomorrow, and that will be on the next video. I just appreciate each and every one of you. This is probably the longest process, meaning days, that I've recorded over. So I hope it all comes together the way it happened. I know Jason will do a good job editing, but it's kind of hard to tell somebody, put this here, when I recorded some with my phone and some with my camera. And he says, that's what I do. So I think everything will work out just fine, and I'll update y'all on the next video with the 2 kitties and their sexes and how they did with their spay or neuter. Thank y'all for watching, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all be good.